I've clicked start streaming. I'm going to see if the actual screen's working, and then we'll start. Luckily, we don't have enough viewers to actually, like...
Yeah, we're not cool enough for that, we're just fucking all gay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's actually started. Shit. Oops, shit.
Does it actually start? I don't say like saying it started and not actually started. Ooh!
Oh, no, I'm going to have to definitely restart this, I think. Oh, wait, one sec.
What the fuck was that?
Yeah, I'm going to have to restart this, because for some reason, it's loaded the screen up in the tiniest fucking corner ever. Hey, Freddy. How are you doing?
Oh, I can't. I'm so bad at Roblox.
What are you playing?
He's playing
Roblox.
Random sources in Roblox.
Uh,
It's like Battlefield in Roblox, but it's actually better than
Whoa, that's
Battlefield.
a good game. Save 40 quid off Battlefield.
Berlin Battlefield.
Mm.
Same Roblox.
There we go, that's better. Alright. So,
I love myself in Berlin Roblox.
alright, got it all sorted now. I'm gonna have to turn my phone down because you can hear me through the phone and hear the phone through. Alright. So, shall we get started then?
Alright then, what's the topic? What's the first topic?
No, we want to introduce ourselves. So, who wants to introduce
That's a
us
bit,
all?
just a bit gay, innit?
Yeah, it is,
fucking
but
gay.
I mean, we do it.
I'm Blur and I can suck my own dick, like IRL. I'm not even joking.
He's not lying, he can. Alright, so welcome to Political Pissants. I am...
I'm Drongo and I wank every time we stream.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm Silent Hybrid and I am the world's greatest edgelord.
Silent hybrid.
I can't
Oh,
remember
that
which...
is-
What name was it? Oh no, what name was it that I fucking said? Oh, it was Scissors, wasn't it? Yeah.
That is the
Shit.
cringy name.
Oh no, wait, shit, no.
Silent Hybrid worse.
No, wait, no, wait. Oh no, it's Menotorn. Shit, yeah, it's Menotorn.
Oh,
Fucking
shit.
hell.
I'm
Alright,
Nico
so-
Bellic.
Alright, are you gonna introduce yourself, Blobby?
I'm Mr. Bobby and I touch kids.
Whoa.
That's how we do it.
That's the way, kids.
He doesn't actually touch kids. I don't think.
No, he's dead serious.
He
I'm
does
dead
touch,
serious.
he does touch kids just on the shoulders.
Not
He
yet.
starts
With
the
his giant
segment
5
saying,
foot
"Are you
Oh,
ready?"
brushing that shit.
It'd be so funny if you just leaned into the mic
Yeah.
and said, I haven't started the crusade yet. Mmm.
Oh god. Alright, so first topic, guys.
1 second, cunt. I'll be
Who
back.
wants to tell the stream what the who wants to tell everyone what the first topic is?
I don't know what it is. I don't play in Windows mode like a retard, so I don't know.
Alright, alright, Drongo, you're wanking so you can introduce it.
No,
He's probably gone to get beaten by his mum.
Oh,
Fine.
for fuck's sake. I need my phone for the freaking... to see what's going on in the fucking stream, not for freaking checking this shit. Oh, that was a weird burp.
Isn't it that Boris Johnson shit?
Oh, yeah. So, the first topic is Boris Johnson saying that women wearing burkas look like letterboxes.
Yeah, no, but he's right, isn't he? Like, I don't get how that's controversial. They actually do.
It
It's
may
very
be...
accurate.
It may be quote-unquote offensive, but it's funny.
What you talking about?
It's not even funny, though. It's just true. Like, how do they not look like letterboxes? Explain that to me.
You know alright, I shouldn't say this on stream, but one of my friends almost got arrested because he ran up to a woman and shoved a letter in her face.
Wait, what?
You got arrested for it.
He almost got arrested.
Oh. I wouldn't be going around doing that, but... At the end of the day, I think that Muslims are retarded.
Oh,
No.
fuck. Oh, fuck. Okay, yeah, this is Proxy, guys. This is the guy who was not. This is Blur,
name's Blur.
guys.
I can suck my dick.
Dreaming.
This is Blur, guys. This is the guy who just. He is just straight up.
Muslims are retarded though, like, I don't care what anyone says. When you look at a lot of the things that they do, and a lot of things they go on about, are so contradictory and retarded. Like, yeah, like, it's not even in the Quran to bless your wife as a fucking letterbox. Like, there's no scripture that says, yeah, put your wife in some big black robe, and fuck it, it's just them being idiots. So when people say it's the religion's fault, no, it's just they're all fucking idiots. But yeah, that's my take on it. And also, I'm going to go on a bit of a rant here about lefties, because I was going to do this anyway, but listen. Lefties are fucking retarded, because they go on about how we need to be really tolerant with, like, Muslims, black people. They live in the whitest places in the fucking country! What are they doing? Are they autistic? They don't even live with black people!
Kids, what's up, guys?
But yeah, that's my take on everything.
I'm 5-year-old right now. What are you kids doing? What are you
They
doing?
always complain about how fucking, like, the working class is stupid and uneducated because we don't understand about how to be tolerant and stuff. But, I'm not being funny, they literally don't live with any minorities in their community. Literally. They have, like, 0.1% of their community with minorities in it. And when they are minorities, they're, like, Asian and Jewish and shit. Like, none of them are fucking coming from dirty, stinky countries like fucking Muslims.
Oh yeah. Like
fucking
Israel.
Israel is not a shithole.
Drongo's actually fucking.
Alright, I'll let you lot speak now.
Oh fucking hell, Jesus Christ!
I don't know how we can speak after that.
I wouldn't.
You can't relate me.
I'm fucking dead already. I'm dead.
Why are you dead for, you little shit cunt?
Oh, it's funny, just stolen.
Oh, it was a good idea to get it was a good idea to get Blur to join in, because that just gave me the best giggle ever. Just join the stream, start
Giggles?
screaming about lefties and Muslims.
Warning, you have a strike for offensive content. You have violated YouTube's community guidelines, specifically hate speech. While we're on hate speech, what is hate speech? What even is it?
Alright, so we were supposed to be talking about. Alright, let's get back on topic before freaking Blur gets me kicked off
Muslims look
Twitch
like
straight away.
letterboxes in their stupid fucking burkas, yeah, sure.
Alright, so Alright, so let's start with Blur. Alright, no, we've already had Blur because we've all heard what he thinks about this.
Ask me a question on it and then I'll answer it, but then I'll be done.
So, what do you think about the whole Boris Johnson thing? Do you think he should or shouldn't apologise, and why? By the
No,
way,
should he fuck? Why should he have to apologise for that? He's just saying what he thinks, and what he thinks isn't exactly, like, rhetoric, it's just true. Like, how does a fucking Birkin not look like a letterbox? Like, I wouldn't mind about Twitch, they probably never heard of a burqa because the majority of staff on here are fucking American, and they don't have anyone, again, privileged retards, talking about how bad it is, hate speech is. They don't have any of the problems we have. The Muslims, so...
Oh god.
But yeah, no, Boris has done nothing wrong. That's all.
Alright, so
Big bad
he
Boris.
hasn't actually apologised yet,
Good.
contrary to belief. He actually walked out with mugs of tea saying, "I'm not apologising, do you want a cup of tea? You've been out here for ages." Which is brilliant, it is just the best
That's
way.
how I deal with it.
Yeah, just, he is a mug, have some tea. Oh, he is a legend, though. I don't care what anyone says, offensive or not, or whatever, he is just a beautiful man.
Yeah, especially his magic cop jawline, Boris Johnson.
Alright,
Beautiful.
so your
Ah.
view is, he shouldn't apologise, and why?
No. Why? Because he's done literally nothing wrong.
By the way, Blobby,
Uh,
I kicked your ass.
The reason why he shouldn't be scrutinised for this is because no matter how you go about like offence is taken, not given. You can't give offence to someone. You can only take offence to something, right?
But what if I want to keep my fence?
No, don't be a retard. You know what I'm talking about.
I'm trying to be serious, yeah, bro.
But if you get offended by something, that's down to you, right?
Yeah, it is down to the person about being offended. It's not about who's trying. You can try to offend someone, but granted, you might offend them, you might not. Like, guaranteed. I get... It's the one thing I find about being offended weird. By the way, Blobby, get into the match now. I can't be asked waiting for your sorry ass.
I fucking invited you not 40 years ago. You cheeky bastard.
I just invited you, but... Just...
God, I'm gonna rape you in your sleep.
Sweet. Do it, daddy. So, the thing about being offended, which I always find stupid, is like, all these people are trying to stop people from being offended by banning the things which offend people. Now, the thing is, I get offended by people who drink black coffee straight with no sugar, literally just water and coffee, because that shit is like that shit is psychopathic. But
That's my dad does,
I'm not gonna turn around and be like, ban cups of coffee. It's stupid.
You get offended by being an alpha male.
That makes sense.
You're gonna pull out I'm an alpha male quote now, aren't you?
The reason why banning, and if the lefties had it their way, Boris Johnson would be like hanging by his neck right now because they're fucking retarded, or he'd be in a happy room, like a spastic room with like loads of happy faces on the wall. That's how they want to do things, idiots. If you ban loads of offensive words, then all you're going to do is have racists behind closed doors. If you allow racism to happen, then you'll know who the racists are in society, and you won't have to interact with them. Right? Am I right or am I wrong? If you allow racism, then it's out there, isn't it? It's public. You don't have to worry about it being behind closed doors. There's no such thing as a closet racism at that point. A racist at that point, is there?
Yeah, it's actually quite a good point, to be honest. Like, if a racists are out, you actually know who's racist. You can see
Exactly, and you don't have to interact with those people or scrutinise them for their opinion. Well, you can if you want to, because that's the whole point of free speech.
Yeah, you can tell them fuck off, or you can tell them I agree. You know, it's your choice.
Yeah. Anyone else got any opinions on the fucking
Alright.
Boris thing? I don't really think it's a good topic.
Alright, Drongo, it's your turn.
What, me?
Yeah, you're gonna, like, diffuse this and make it retarded. Go on. Do you think?
I'll fuck right off, alright? My
You are a
man
Muslim.
Boris should have... Yeah, I know, but I'm a bit different from the norm.
Yeah, you're like moderate.
I find it funny
Alright, so
because
here's the
while
thing.
we're in this conversation, Freddy is, like, my sugar glider is just sat on my shoulder just listening in.
Busting a nut, what is that in my G?
No,
My
that's you.
G.
That's you. You're the one who wanks on stream.
Well, I'm currently eating, but I won't go for a minute. After. But anyway, the Burka, if they make him apologize, they're literally publicly stating that we don't want you to have your own opinion. You know, don't state your own opinion, just shut up, and you don't have the right to an opinion. But he does. I mean, you know, Britain is all about, oh, we're multicultural, we accept all cultures and opinions.
Yeah.
You can say that
Yeah.
with a public face, but when you say, oh, we're talking about burkas, let's shut him up, the lefties, oh, let's kill him. No, it's, you're allowing this, you have to follow through with your statement. You're multicultural, you accept them. You can have his opinion if they look at letterboxes. They fucking do. I'm glad my mum doesn't read them. I fucking call her a letterbox straight. You know? I don't think people who read them are bad, but if you look like a letterbox, that's fine. I mean, in my personal opinion, pardon me, that's a fact. And I don't think he should be in trouble or anything. I think he has a right to his opinion. And the Muslims, if they say, oh, it's part of our culture, that's fine. It doesn't change the fact that you look like a letterbox while wearing it. And
Yeah.
it's not part of your culture. You enforce it upon women, so fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. It's not even like a Muslim thing. There's nowhere in the Quran that says, yeah, women need to wear
Yeah.
big black robes.
It's
Robes,
Islam,
robes.
yeah. And people are like, oh, Islam has a amount of authority as the Quran, let's follow it. No. Islam is modernized and it's an extremist form of life, in my opinion. But
This is
I think
actually-
Boris Johnson's fine.
This is actually coming from a guy who's grown up in, well, around that kind of thing. So
Yeah, I'm a member of ISIS.
right,
GG.
this guy is actually,
I'm Muslim.
yeah.
Growing up in Muslim family, you know, normal. Although my parents wouldn't really agree with my opinion. They would
Hey,
totally
can we talk
think
about
that's-
multiculturalism real quick?
Yeah, go on.
Hey, let me just praise the Lord. Basically, multiculturalism. What are you guys' thoughts on it? Because I think it's
I think it's bad.
contradictory. I don't think it's bad, but I think that people go about it in the wrong way. Like, if you have multiculturalism, you have to accept a plethora of ideas, but they don't want that. They want to have their own little ideological echo chambers where everybody segregates themselves from society. So that's not
The
even
reason-
multiculturalism.
The reason I think it's bad is because on a public front page, for example, this country says we want multiculturalism. That's fine. You can accept all sorts of different cultures. And I think it's fine for different religions and cultures to follow their way of life in a different country. But you don't have to enforce it and cause problems for the country as a whole, which many cultures have done.
Exactly.
And
Like,
refuse
sure, you
to
can
take
have your
responsibility.
cultures here, but I'm not going to change my culture to suit yours.
And even if it takes 10 years to fix a problem, it's better than sitting on your ass for 10 years and preaching a god, saying, oh, we don't have to do that, we want to follow our culture, let's cause problems for the country. Like a housing crisis for a mosque or something. Like, now,
Housing
Follow
crisis for a mosque?
in Luton, for example, there's a bunch of mosques.
Fucking hell, that was loud.
Sorry,
you know-
I needed to cough.
You, you know how we have a bunch of mega mosques in Luton?
Yeah.
There's
In London.
12 more on the way, which is what they want, and we're already having a housing
So
crisis
it's
in
basically
Luton.
dominating London. Luton,
Yeah,
sorry.
and they want more, and that is causing problems for housing. The council cannot make more houses, despite the houses being shit. Minorities and different cultures, which is mainly minorities, benefit off of it. And yet they just want their big ass mosque. You can't live in a mosque. I think that's fucking
Exactly.
wrong. Well, or wrong for other religion, but yeah, it's if you cause a problem, don't enforce it. You know?
I just realized Blobby's name on Steam is Nico Bellic.
Legal,
That's an
baby.
inside name.
Yep, that's from the disabled
Have you
kid.
seen the picture I have?
Let's see.
Have you two got any
Oh,
thoughts on
God.
multiculturalism?
Right,
I think
oh no, we still need to finish the
Boris Johnson.
yeah, because we haven't obviously we need to hear everyone's part of it.
Um,
So
Mitchell
Blobby,
Mitchell didn't have anything to say on it.
right.
I don't really have anything to add on to that.
alright,
Do you have an
sorry.
opinion?
Like,
that you wanna talk?
well, I agree with like what you two were saying. Like, I can't really add anything else onto it because you said everything.
Honestly,
Right.
I do agree with both of you. I do actually agree with both of you on that.
You guys are right.
You
It's his
guys
choice
are
if he wants to
correct.
say sorry or not. If he says sorry, then whatever, cool. No one cares.
If he doesn't say so,
It shows he's
whatever,
weak
cool.
and that he can't back up his own opinion.
He's never done it so far,
He's
so
not
he
alpha.
might not actually do it.
Well, apologise, but I don't think you should, so. Good. Apology for a statement that you've made is like the most retarded thing you can do. It just shows you're weak and that everything that you say, you'll just reverse it if someone gets offended.
Yeah,
Sorry, Sorry, but I have my own opinion.
Mm.
I'm actually gonna link that back. You remember when I had to apologize in Snapchat, right? And you called me weak for it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna criticize you for that. I do get what you're saying, but me personally, I would
That was
consider
an
myself.
alpha statement.
I would consider myself
That
very.
was an alpha statement. You're a weak
pass-
boy.
I would consider myself passive aggressive, and I don't like drama or having to deal with shit.
No. The
just out of
blurry
curiosity.
alpha has spoken.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
a
Shut
boy.
up, alright?
You're a
Ali
weak
God
boy.
has spoken.
For me, it kind of depends, because, like, you call me a pussy for this if you want, I don't really care. I'm more than happy to put up with shit from the opinions I have, but when people want to fight me over them, I think they're pathetic, and that they're basically akin to an animal. Because it's like, if you're that much of a fucking baby that you're like, I'm going to fight you because you don't like Muslims, It's like, shut the fuck up, you idiot. I don't fight people for
I get
opinions.
what you mean. A lot of Muslims are very aggressive if you don't agree with.
No, I'm not just talking about Muslims. I'm talking about like
Yeah.
Antifa and stuff.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
A lot of people in general, like a lot of people in general, are very aggressive over you not having the same opinion. It's quite strange, actually.
But I think, and this is going to be, I don't think you're going to agree with this. I think only the left wing assault people randomly because of their opinions. I don't think the right wing does that at all. I haven't seen any examples of it.
I haven't.
What do you mean assault people because of their opinions?
Yeah, assaulting people based on their opinions, yeah, sure. The right wing's barely ever does that. Well, probably never.
I would agree with that,
Nope.
actually.
I don't know.
You see, like, Antifa and stuff hitting people over the head with bike locks who are just chilling. It's like, nice, fucking retard. Why are you doing that? Yeah, no, there was some guy who was like a cameraman at 1 minute. There was this guy at a fucking Antifa rally, and he was like filming, and there was like a counter-protest. And he was just like, he didn't have any political favour. He wasn't favouring the right wing or the left wing. And some guy came up to him, battered him over the head with a fucking bike lock, and left him with temporal, like, skull damage. Like, his skull's fucked now, basically. Just because he was, like, standing on the side that the right wing was standing on.
Wow.
Jesus.
The guy got away with it as well.
Savage,
Because he was
bro.
rich.
Right wings do get away with it.
Sounds
Bunch
like
of
you
a
know.
lot of crimes, minorities as well. It's fucking sick. Disgusting. In my opinion.
Yeah, like lefties and that will get away with, well, lefties normally have a lot of money. They complain that, it's ironic, because they cry and cry and cry about apparent right-wing people having all the money. We don't. We're the working class, right? But, like, all the lefties and that are, like, Londoners, right?
Yeah. The
And
majority.
they're all rich, so it's like, what the fuck?
Right,
Are they talking
I
about?
think the reason lefties get away with stuff is because they're so violent that they would start an uproar over something small. Like, I've seen examples of research, I've seen clips.
Oh
and
no,
shit.
but they'll wear a mask when they do it, because they're pussies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're
And
covered themselves.
alphas.
They are absolute mongs.
Like, if one of them tried to assault me, I'd fucking cave their skull in. Like, I don't even care. They're pussies, like, behind their mask. I would literally line their face up against the fucking curb and stomp it.
Physique. That
I'm 5'11", you dickhead.
I know, I just like pissing you off.
But you look at a lot of lefties, Waleed, I don't think you understand. Lefties have, like, Nico's build.
Yeah, I know, I would fuck up a lefty if I could.
Right, honestly.
But if one of them assaulted me, they'd get curb stomped. Seriously.
Pull out the Jew fist, the Israeli knuckles.
Who let the technique?
Oh, fucking hell.
Hang on.
And I wouldn't even care if I killed one. Like, in self-defense, if they died, I wouldn't care.
If you're fighting a lefty and
You
they
are
pull out a
savage,
Tech
bro.
9, what are you gonna do if they pull out a Tech 9?
Savage.
If I pull out a Tech 9, well, they probably won't know how to use it, the retards.
Yeah, they'll probably leave it on safety on.
They're like anti-gun, don't you know?
They probably pull out a Tech 9 and go, why isn't it rapping yet?
Lefties are contradictory retards that don't know what they're
honestly,
talking about.
baby.
This may seem like a weird opinion, but I genuinely believe that like SJWs and lefties act like they do because they are bored.
Well, a lot of them are middle class, so they try and pretend like they've got loads of problems in their life. So I'll put it this way: they kind of want to be working class because they're like, they're more educated, so they pretend that they've got loads of problems, but they're really like, what's the word? Jealous of the upper class.
Yeah, that's what I
So
mean.
they're
like,
bored of their lives. Yeah.
Yeah, like what I mean is that they're bored, so because they are so bored, they're getting offended by everything because they want something to be angry about. They want the drama.
I don't think they're bored. I just think they have no friends because they're weirdos. Like a lot of trannies and stuff are just complete weirdos. So they'll like go out of their way to pretend they're offended and stuff, and you know, they'll pretend that they have like alter egos and a million personalities and just weird shit like that. They're weird. They're weird people.
Are we even on our topic?
And they'll pretend to get offended by everything as a virtue signaling tactic, so they can get more friends because they're lonely. And you know, just people like Nico, basically.
Oh no!
Alright, I shouldn't name names. People like
Oh,
people
sorry.
like Jimmy.
You mean a
Jimmy
Nico Taylor who goes to Central Bedfordshire College?
oh my god. Okay, you're a fucking idiot.
Alright, Right. Sorry. One sec.
You're gonna need
Are
to,
we
you're
even
gonna
on
need to
topic?
actually cut that from the fucking live, the VOD, you know that, right? He just literally doxed someone.
Yep.
So you
He
got a
doesn't-
bit of
he doesn't
editing
know-
to do there.
He doesn't know that it's us who are saying it though, so it's fine.
It doesn't matter. If someone
I mean,
who's watching our
Blur
thing
did say,
He doesn't know
Drunk
we're on
his
about
name.
him though, so.
doesn't, he just said a Nico Taylor that goes to the college that we go to.
Oh fuck's sake! I can't be arsed
Yeah.
editing. I hate
I'll tell
editing.
you, this guy doesn't have a working brain
He's
cell.
got to now.
Feel the pain.
Do you have a tumor in your head, mate?
Oh yeah, I've got a tumor in my ass as well. Courtesy of Mr. Batman.
put that there.
I will literally put a tumour in your ass one day if you carry on being such a fucking moron.
Are we
The
even on topic
lefties are
right
just
now?
useless weirdos who don't know what they're doing with their lives, basically.
What have we done?
Right, you know,
What
you
is
wanna know
the
something?
topic?
You wanna know something? The thing is like when it comes to leftists and they go on about like, oh yeah, don't be offended, don't want people to be offended and stuff like that. I actually have a friend who is transsexual and isn't a lefty because he genuinely believes that they are stupid. He's
Is it a he or
transsexual.
a she?
Well, turning she. It's not actually. Is in the middle of the process, so he still classes himself as a he. But
Oh god.
he actually turns around and he actually says that people like the lefties and everything like that are genuinely stupid for sitting there going, oh, we need to protect
They're
everything.
not
blah, blah, blah."
stupid, they're mentally disabled.
Good question. Is he gonna keep his dick?
No, he's literally getting it chopped off.
And I'm gonna go to the savage level of saying your friend, I don't know who he is, has gender dysphoria and is mentally disabled.
He has been classed as having gender dysphoria, and he does tell you that. He doesn't sit there and bullshit you like everyone else does.
Yeah. Oh, still.
He is the
As long
most
as he's
truthful
aware.
guy about it.
I
and
just
it's
I
good.
just hate the fact that being trans is like normalised nowadays and it's fine. Like it's not. You're mentally disabled and you're fucked in the
What
head a
about
little
those
bit.
kids that are becoming trans?
That is actual fucking insanity. If you basically force your kid to change gender identity because they said, "Mummy, I want to wear a dress," then you're fucking stupid. You should
won't
be
able to
executed.
Oh,
You want to? Yeah, alright. Here's the thing: if you want to wear a dress and you're a guy and you do not want like you're not girly or anything like that, you want to wear a dress and you're a guy, wear a fucking kilt.
What I don't understand is
It's
why
not
they
even
don't
that though. Like a
jump
lot.
the gun.
What do you mean?
There was this girl. Okay, hold on.
Right. So shall we get started on?
She said,
I
wanna
personally
be a girl,"
think.
and her parents gave her a sex change just because she said, I want to be. She's 12 years old. She doesn't, she's not
Well, they
fully
don't-
aware.
yeah. They
I
don't
think
prove that.
adults who treat their kids like dolls or give them like surgery
Yeah.
that changes their gender identity, they should be executed or euthanized
like-
or something.
it's
I
like
hate
what
them.
should be saying,
fucking lynched.
I will forcefully give my
So,
child.
no,
mental
genuinely, I think
disorder."
they should die.
You said one thing, so I will use that to my own advantage to make myself look like a better person to everyone
Exactly.
else. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
totally
What they
a great
do is
parent.
they
That's what
use
you
their
want as a
kids as like a
parent.
doll because they wanted a daughter or they
Yeah.
wanted a
A doll
son.
is a
It's
good example,
disgusting.
yeah.
It's fucking disgusting.
Struck a nerve, Jesus.
It's like forcing your kid to have a disease, basically.
All right, so right, let's get back on topic. So carrying on from
What was the topic?
Boris Johnson
Oh,
thing, yeah. Denmark has actually banned burkas.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
Nothing
they've banned
wrong
it.
with that.
yeah, they've banned
Yes.
burkas.
No one looking like
Interesting.
If
boxes.
you,
Good,
Good.
if you're in Denmark and you ask someone to take off a burqa to see who they are, just in case of any problem, then you have to then they have to do it.
Do they
Because
have
that
to
is
put
a
it back
rule.
on?
So
After
they haven't banned it.
can't-
That's pretty retarded.
It's they're not allowed to hide their identity like they do in England.
I think it's a bit smart that they didn't ban it. If they did, there would be Muslim riots all over the country.
Yeah.
I'm saying
There-
it's
there
better
are-
if we don't.
There are
Explosion.
strikes. There are like there are marches going, but there are not full-on riots right now.
Well, they're fucking
Yeah.
retarded then.
We can't risk that violence.
Yeah, bring back the burger. Bring back the weather bomb.
Like they did something similar last time when they
Bring
kidnapped
back
a
lynching.
pedophile, and because they were scared of riots, they let that pedophile run free.
Really?
Meaning a pedophile is currently living in this country who would not get in trouble by the government because they were afraid of a riot from Muslims. You know, it's better we don't continue with.
Oh my god, I just got raped in the ass.
I think it's time for a crusade.
I think the
What?
police in our country are so weak and so fragile. Like, our police force is just shit.
One
I
second.
mean-
Blobby.
Suck my cock, please.
Get fucked.
I am.
I just
Yeah,
fucked
go on.
up
The
Blobby
police are
again.
fragile. I'm listening. The police are fragile.
The police are fragile and shite. Like, I don't care what anyone says, they're fucking trash.
I mean, wasn't there a bunch of Muslim gangbangers going around and the police didn't arrest them because they were afraid
Yeah,
of
yeah,
being
yeah. I
racist?
saw
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
That happens every fucking day.
Yeah, I think they want to arrest them, but it's like what happens
But these
after.
weren't these guys like raping like 15-year-old girls and that?
Even younger, I think it was like 12.
Yeah, and the
Because
police
15 is
were
when
like,
you think you're a bit of an adult. 12 is like, you're fucking at year 7.
Hmm.
Basically, it's
seriously.
fucking wrong.
The police need a lot more, need to be given a lot more rights. You know, the Muslims need to like just fuck off. Yes.
No, they
If you
just
were
need
a
to
police
stop
cop,
being weak,
what would you
fragile pieces of trash.
If you were a cop and you saw that, what would you do?
I'd fucking lynch the guy on the spot.
Wait,
GG.
what is that called?
Nice. I respect that.
I wouldn't tolerate paedophiles, so I'd die.
We don't have to. We don't. Yeah, you're right. We do nothing in this country that allows us to tolerate pedophiles. We can be multicultural. We're not multi. Let's allow one culture to break the law.
I think that paedophiles and rapists should be completely wiped from the gene pool.
They should.
Just executed. Because
Honestly,
what are they? They're just rapists, right?
Yeah.
What do they give to society?
Exactly.
Nice.
They just rape kids and make people have traumatic experiences later in life.
Yeah, they
Nice.
really do affect certain societies.
they do.
If you do that to a
actually
bunch of
affect
kids, you are
society.
affecting the generation. And
Yeah.
even if
Well, I
it's 0.1%,
think that our government has selective equality. So we don't have as many rights as like Muslims and stuff.
Yeah.
Or blacks, because they get away with a lot of stuff just because of the color of their skin. I don't think that skin color is the only determining factor of race, but
It isn't just a determining factor. The thing is like, I'm trying to think how to explain this. It's like they can like a lot of people sit there going, oh, people talk about Asians. People talk about Asians in this way. What do you mean? Do you mean what is it gonna fucking say? Do you mean Asian, Pakistani, or Muslim, or anything like that? And I can just simply turn around and go, alright, you're talking about white people, aren't you? So what kind of white people do you mean? Do you mean German, English, Irish, Scottish? You know, it works the same way. The thing is, the colour of skin doesn't change anything. And
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. It's quite confusing, but you get my drift, don't you, guys?
not really.
No, I mean like
Kind of.
you see like this is what I mean by the like. Do you know when you was on about selective equality?
Right.
I'm on about selective racism.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like they will sit there and they'll be like, so do you mean, so because you're going on about black people, isn't it? Do you mean this kind of black person or this kind of black person, you know?
Yeah, they'll go
Like-
down the list like it's
Yeah.
really important. It's
Yeah.
not.
It's like, oh, are you focusing on African Americans or are you focusing on Asians or all this kind of stuff? And it's like, I can simply say the same thing about white people, but I don't
Yeah, you
You
because
haven't
I,
fully explained it. Yeah.
yeah, I don't sit there going on, I don't sit there trying to rant about it for no fucking reason, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, they should all fucking just stop being
Off
whiny
themselves.
bastards. Yeah, that works as well.
Yeah. I think it's because they're so uncultured, you know? Like,
Get fucked.
if I say to my
hey
mate,
birdie,
oh, yo, did you hear about that white pedophile? And then there's, hang on, which one? You need to go into detail. You can't say white and talk about like 50% of the world's population. You've got to, Irish, Scottish, what are we talking? I haven't fully explained myself. I've just generalized white people to be pedophiles, and
What do you think of Black Lives Matter?
they don't.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
Oh,
I'll tell you why they don't.
I think
Because
I
black
think
people.
it
Oh,
could
go on
have it could have really been a good thing.
How could it? There's no discrimination against black people in the police force in America.
Do you know what black
In
people think
certain
about
countries,
Black Lives
in
Matter?
certain countries there are, certain countries there's not. In
Well, in
certain
America
parts,
there's
no, I'm
not. In
saying
England there's not.
in certain parts of America there are, certain parts of America there not, where the police force
I don't
is
think so.
less regulated and stuff like that.
I don't think so at all. Like literally none.
Black
On
Lives.
the overall police force, there is little to no racial discrimination. Against white people, maybe.
Yeah, people say that American police shoot black people. Some of the people they've shot are known to
Oh,
have
the
committed
majority of them are
multiple
just
crimes.
scumbags. They deserve to be
Yeah.
purged.
They shoot a black person. Oh, he shot a black person. That's right. No, he shot a criminal who could have completely ruined your child's future. So,
Yeah, but it's got to the point where like innocent white people they get killed. No one cares about that.
yeah, fair point. They don't, pay news to the minority. They'll get loads of money. Let's not
Exactly.
talk about the real problem.
That's why I hate the mainstream media. Like they'll only play like news and stuff that like plays into their little virtue signaling.
SAW thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why they think it's a good idea to make your own police force seem like scumbag. I'm like, you're scaring the public. Why do you think that's a good idea?
Mm.
Like, at all.
Because if you make the public scared of the police, then they will not want to do anything to actually fight against what is wrong. And
But when you
I'm not
create
I'm not on about like what is wrong, such as stopping people from being offended. I mean like what is wrong as like really wrong, actually fucking destroying things.
But the
do you
mainstream
mean?
media don't always talk the truth.
Because of the mainstream media and because of Black Lives Matter, I think 4 police a couple of years ago got mowed down by some stupid fucking black guy and his gang boys. Did you not see that? It was like a march or something and a bunch of black people with AR-15 just mow down police officers just because they're police officers.
Oh yeah.
So because of the mainstream media being fucking idiots, and Black Lives Matter being the stupid fucking animals they are, that's what happened. It's a nice one, scumbags.
The reason I don't like Black Lives Matter is because they believe. So the protest all lives matter.
They're a fucking terrorist self.
Yeah, they think that if you say all lives matter, that means
Then
you
you're
think
a
black
racist.
lives don't matter. Yeah, I'm like, no,
Exactly.
we're being equality. Just because you're black doesn't mean you should have more power. Like, fuck off.
One
The
thing
word
that, one thing
exactly
that I
means
do actually,
non-black.
what I do
Yeah.
actually, what I do actually think
How
is
does
like
the
when
word all black?
Exactly.
what I do actually believe is like when it comes down to some things is like where people go on about like how there's violence against black people, there's violence against white people, there's violence against women, there's violence against men. I think it should be, instead of constantly focusing it on certain people and like basically segregating people further away from each other, it should actually focus on everyone. Like, there is violence against people, let's solve it. Rather
Who
than
are you referring to?
just all in general. Like when they're going on about like people being discriminated, instead of saying black people are being discriminated, white people are being discriminated, that kind of thing, just simply people are being discriminated, can we stop kind of thing, solve it in a everyone needs to fix it kind of thing, rather than just one set
I
of
don't think
people.
so.
What if everyone's not responsible?
No, I'm
Why
saying
should I
that-
push for something that doesn't affect me and I have not affected in any way?
No, I'm saying that I'm not saying that like it's that everyone is doing one thing. I mean like someone's doing something against everyone. Like say a company is like causing issues for a lot of people.
Now, let me give you an example then. If the mainstream media pollutes the public with bullshit and we find out it's bullshit and a warrant happens, what should I do? If there's public warrants going on and the mainstream media are lying and people are dying because of these lies being fed to the public, how do I, as a part of everyone, provide to this? Do I do
Wait,
warrants?
so wait. So what you're trying to... That the media or everybody should stop collectivizing or being collectivists on like race and stuff when it comes to crime that's being committed or
Yeah, like if you really, because these people constantly go on about how they don't want discrimination and stuff like that. If you don't want to discriminate, then you got to focus on the fact that
tell that to Black Lives Matter. I think they'll just end up stabbing you.
Yeah.
They're the only people that are putting people in categories are the left wing. No one else is doing it.
I know, like that's what I mean.
But because they've started doing that, the right wing are like, okay, well, white people are being discriminated against, men are being discriminated against. But you won't say anything about that because you're all fucking monkeys.
One second. I need to stop this conversation right now. Blobby.
Yeah.
3-1, little bitch.
I'm out. You
Okay.
shit, Mitchell. Oh, god damn it. Edit that.
When I say monkeys, I'm talking about lefties, by the way.
Yeah, we know.
And Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, I knew you were blacks the moment you said it. The dirty little monks.
Oh my ears.
Oh my god.
Fucking hell.
So what's next? Are we going to a new topic?
This is genuinely really entertaining right now. Alright, yeah. So,
What's the next one?
Can someone look into the, I'll have a look. I'll find it.
Who wants to go first?
Conversation 2,
Flat Earth first.
yeah, it's flat earthers.
Oh no.
Ah,
I don't know much about flat earthers, I just think
I
they're
think this is
fucking
what we-
retarded.
I think this is Drungar topic.
Yeah, right, go on, Drongo, you get started.
Oh fuck me, alright. Alright, start off with. We all know what flat earthers are, right? They think the earth's flat. I think it's total bullshit. You know, I heard from a friend. My friend's a malnutrition fuck. Anorexic as well. Anyway, so I heard from a friend that the space, that NASA or whatever, they sent like a drone, a satellite drone into space, and they did like a 360 of the planet just to prove to flat earthers. Flat earthers said, if you can prove to me, well, like they
And they still denied it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so what they wanted
Yeah.
was, please show me proof that the Earth is not flat. They did it, and what they said, oh, it's forged, it's fake, you edited it. I'm like, okay, how would we benefit from editing it? You know, the world's not going to fall into a crisis. I mean, I think it's a mental disorder to think the Earth is flat. You know, there's loads of memes about it because it's.
I think it's a
useless
mental
to live.
disorder, I just think it's just theorists trying to get attention. Like, they don't
That's it,
actually think the
point.
world's flat.
Yeah, because
just
if you
for
give them
attention.
proof, they will just like remove you from their site.
Exactly.
You know, if you try and
Like any
disrespect
normal
them,
person would be like, okay, that's pretty legit, whatever.
Yeah.
Come on,
Maybe I
Blobby,
was-
come on, Blobby, freaking choose something.
I don't know.
Sorry.
If they want attention, I can sort of see that makes sense. You know, there's no way you logically believe the Earth is flat. It many world crises wouldn't make sense if the Earth is flat and how we survive and shit. You know, but if that's how people want to live their lives, I don't think you should preach it like they are. You know, you make Facebook groups saying the Earth is flat, we have proof, and then you show no proof.
Have you
It's a
seen
joke.
those Facebook groups?
Yeah. So I think it's you could say it's the
funniest
left
thing
wing.
ever.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
just
so
begging
fucking
for a bit of attention. You know, a lot of these problems we're mentioning are to do with the left wing, but I think the left wing are just begging for some attention, and they have no good evidence to back it up, as always. They have nothing good to say, they just want a bit of attention. And it's just a stupid argument with no statistical
I
information.
think a good way to sum up the left wing at the moment is outrage culture. Being outraged for the sake of attention, or, well, just that really.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Or because they're so easily offended by everything in the world because they're weaklings that should be, well, I can't even say what I want that's happened to them. I'll put it this way, if they all got hit by a bus tomorrow, every lefty in the world got hit by a bus tomorrow, I wouldn't care. Be more than
To
happy.
be fair, a lot of the world's political standpoints would probably improve a great deal, and we would actually move forward in life if one of the lefties took one.
Because we wouldn't have to deal with these crybabies that cry about everything and don't actually take any action. It's so weak.
Even a
The
lot
only
of
action is, yeah, let's go stand in the middle of the road and scream, he will not divide us for 10 hours. Like, good job, retard. You haven't done anything.
Yeah, you've caused traffic problems, but that's it.
Have you seen those videos of, like, protesters standing in the middle of the road and then people driving through them with, like, big trucks and shit, like, killing people?
Yeah.
And
honestly.
when I see
yeah.
that, I'm like, that is actually so funny. Like, I'm glad you're dead because you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, you know those protests where they stand in the road, right?
Yeah.
And then they cause traffic. One, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's illegal. And also, you know when the
It's illegal to stand in the middle of the road protesting.
and you know when the media are sort of scaring the public, and the lefties, what they want to do is they speak about peace and all that, right? Like they want an equal society.
Jesus
Right?
Christ, this was the fastest game so far.
What I don't understand
I
is
even killed you.
why is it
I
that
don't
the
think I killed
lefties
you.
will
No,
then
I've got,
stand
like,
in a
one
road
health.
and some people will be intimidated by thousands of people standing in the road blocking you, essentially telling you you cannot pass, you will listen to what I have to say, and then you will go when I am convinced you agree with me. You're not allowed to do that. And you should never
Plus, you're halting people going to work and shit. Like, people need to make a living. People need to feed into the economy. That's
Because
what life is.
unlike
Well, to be honest, they're stopping the people going to work providing for them. Like, they're stopping like people going to like make labour and that.
I'd like to see every.
No, the people standing in the middle of the road haven't got a job. They're just scum.
Yeah.
You know what they should do? They should just stand on that road for about 30 hours or the rest of their lives, and then when we can't work and pay their taxes for them to make money, then they can complain about not getting any more money.
No,
You
we
know,
should,
if they
just,
stand there-
we should just drive monster trucks through them and crush every bone in their fucking
We
body.
should like get like a AR-15 like they do.
Normal.
Shoot them down.
I don't know about the gun thing, but if you're standing in the middle of the road being a retard, you deserve to be hit by a car. You can't stand in the middle of the road, get hit by a car, and then complain about getting hit by said car.
Fair
It's
point.
you, not the middle of the road.
Yeah, but we need to send a message. You know, we need to send a powerful message. They're not.
No, we just need to sign a bill that says if you're standing in the middle of the road protesting, deliberately holding everybody, and if you get hit
You
by
are
a car,
eligible to get shot.
you cannot take any legal action against said person because you intentionally went in the middle of the road expecting to cause trouble. Get hit by a car and fucking die.
That
That's all I've
is
got to
right.
say.
I like that.
Oh, I'm
I
loving
agree.
this. I am
Hang on.
genuinely loving this. It's great.
What's your two guys' opinion? Lobby and
Five Guys, I like that restaurant.
I forgot what was
Five
the-
Guys mowed down by a monster truck. Whoa! That's a
I forgot what we was talking about because it went from
Oh,
flat
no,
earthers to
no,
protesters to like running people
Flat
over with
earthers.
trucks.
Flat Earthers. Basically, how
Flat
flat
earthers.
Earthers and people who follow them are very left wingers and they can't do anything. Then it's
Alright, I'll change it up a little bit. If a flat earther stands in the middle of a road down my street when I'm driving a car, and he's got a sign up saying the earth is flat, and he's been there for an hour, I will drive straight into him. I don't care.
Just like the earth
know-
is flat. No, you're flat.
the thing is, the
Exactly.
government will not be willing to sign that bill because they're afraid of being called racist or something.
Not in America. Not in America. In America,
of
I think
course,
some places
America's-
ram people over.
The thing
But,
is, England signed bills about anything. We literally have a bill where you're not allowed to do shady deals selling fish.
Wait, what?
That's
What,
actually
you mean like £1 fish?
Yo, I get the good shit, bro.
not
I
like
get
you're
the
literally
salmon.
you're literally not
hang
allowed
on.
to sell a specific fish in a weird way, or else it's illegal. That's
What,
how
pulling the
weird.
fish out your pants?
No, like
Yeah,
pulling
bro.
pulling the fish out of your pocket and
Had to sneak
shadily
it through the
passing it
door,
someone
man.
is illegal.
No, it's not that. Selling any food without a license is illegal, or selling
No, it's-
anything with.
No, it's not.
Theoretically illegal.
It's not even without a license. It's something really stupid which they haven't changed, and it's like such an old law from the past, and for some reason they just didn't change it.
I think a lot of countries have
About
old laws that
shade.
needs to be changed.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's one of the good ones, the funny ones.
We're still talking about the flat earth first.
We did derail off topic, but I've essentially said my piece. My ring piece.
Who's
was
that?
now-
You said your piece.
My ring piece is now empty.
But yeah, I am. I don't believe in flat earths. I myself am a cat earther. I believe that the whole world is just a cat.
I agree.
Yeah. I believe the whole world is a cat.
I just believe that everybody in the left wing has autism.
You're gonna bring the left wing into every conversation.
Yeah,
That,
exactly.
that ear rape you just did just gave me autism, mate.
I believe the left wing are the inventors of necrophilia.
Yeah,
And
they are.
there's another autism. Like, there's another bit of autism in my ear because of the freaking ear rape. Thank you, guys.
Do you want to know what I've noticed? Lefties are really, really tolerant to weirdos, and that's it. Like, they're tolerant to fucking trannies, they're tolerant to Muslims who believe that fucking stoning gays to death is cool.
Yeah, bro.
Anyone that's really weird are tolerated by the left. But anyone else, fucking normies, they can perish. White people, they can fucking perish, can't
Oh no! Don't say perish, because you're gonna make me think of Mr. Batman.
they? Repent or perish, sir.
Perish.
You would talk about Jesus Christ, sir.
I'm listening to Linkin Park while I'm doing this, so I'm getting pretty triggered over everything.
Which one? Which Linkin Park song?
Am I the only one that's going to talk about flat earthers normally?
I think I'm listening to In the End. Is that what it's called?
In the end.
In the end,
Yeah.
Doesn't even matter. Yeah, good one.
In the end of your ring.
Robbie, what's your opinion then?
Despite of the way you
Well,
were
flat
mocking
earthers.
me.
Yeah.
Well, in my opinion, a flat earthers is basic. It's
Now
like,
I know I said I disagree with them, but I'm actually a flat earther. Follow my
disagree.
Facebook.
I disagree with flat earthers. I believe that because they see how science shows like the universe and that big it is, they believe themselves to be like less important than everything in the universe because we're like a tiny speck in
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
vast universe.
they don't like feeling unimportant.
They don't like feeling unimportant. Like
Yeah.
when science tells us that we're made of the most basic component in the entire periodic table, they're like, no, we're really important because we have life in our solar system.
Yeah, so
But
so
there's like
they,
billions out there.
so what you're saying is that flat earthers are lefties.
Pretty much.
Yes, my man.
So alright, yeah, I agree.
And that's why.
I did just see your agenda.
It's another example of the left wing just being like, yeah, weirdos are cool. Yeah, you're a fucking weirdo. That's awesome. Join our little club.
They want to be important, but they're really not.
Yeah.
Like Thompson said, lefter.
Okay.
Whoa, is that a real name quote?
Oh shit. Oh fuck you.
Don't like
I can't wait to
Einstein.
play Doom Guy because it's about crushing SJW skulls.
Oh, should we skip to Doom?
Doom
then?
Eternal, that's some
I guess it was
masterpiece, baby.
the Doom.
Alright then.
Doom,
I don't know much about the game itself, so blur or scissors. Go ahead.
How do you not know
Or
about
Blobby.
Doom? How do you not know?
It's about killing. It's about killing demons.
I know.
Yeah, I know what the
game
game's about. I just haven't played a lot of it. Right? Don't diss me for it. I love the
You
game.
don't play Doom for the story. You play Doom for
Yeah.
smashing skulls.
Yeah, there is a
so you
story
three
there.
can talk
There is
the
a
most.
story there inside all the lore and everything like that, but it kind of sits there, tapping its fingers, waiting for you to strap your balls back on, just so you can play again.
By the way, has anyone commented about this? You know, like, did anyone comment asking a question? Because last time they did.
No,
On the
no
podcast.
one-
Oh no! Someone commented about that Theresa May statement,
Yeah,
Says
that was
this.
last.
really.
That was
and
last
their
podcast.
spelling was absolutely perfect.
Oh,
They
I
definitely
bet-
didn't sound like an
I bet you
autistic
10
cuck.
quid. They're probably a minority. Many minorities.
No,
make
they're probably
stupid
autistic.
comments.
I was saying about how over 10 million. I was saying over 10 million, and they were thinking it's specifically 10 million. I was like, are you genuinely that spastic?
Oh, this
Yeah,
guy's
they
about to get
said,
so hard.
15p
him.
per Brit, not
Oh,
including the
God.
minorities and immigrations that don't pay taxes, including big
Block
companies
that.
like Google, Starbucks.
Oh fuck.
Hashtag smart boys.
What are your guys' thoughts of the left wing basically completely taking over everything in Hollywood, gaming, just fucking everyone? Everything has to be gender neutral and gender exclusive. In fucking Forza,
Oh
you
no,
can play as a tranny.
I've
Are
got
you
one.
serious?
I've got one.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of gamer girls?
Scum of the earth.
They're absolutely amazing. I love it when girls play mahjong.
Yeah, I love it when Twitch thoughts.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
shit.
like, scum of the earth.
They're
I don't
great,
understand why
mean, like-
Twitch slots just aren't kicked off fucking Twitch. Like, they're not even playing games most of the time.
Don't half of them break the rules of Twitch and then
Exactly,
just because
like
they're
they're just
female?
breaking the TOS.
We've already had this conversation, guys. We've already had
don't
this
think Blair was
conversation.
Blur wasn't here for it.
Yeah, but Blur can add some extra.
Yeah, Blur's got good
Take a start,
opinions.
Yeah, you can add extra keck
Yeah,
to it.
he's
it's
got some
great.
pretty normal opinions, wouldn't you say?
Because I'm a right-wing extremist and I'm a famous school shooter.
You pulled out there, take
Sam Hyde.
Let me
Can
preach, baby,
you
let me
two
preach.
now please stop friggin' ear raping the mics?
You've coughed into the mic 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Fuck
you
off.
two keep purposefully ear raping.
purposefully.
Alright, my ear rape is not as bad as your ear rape.
Yeah, okay, well, Drongo at least, because whenever he ear rapes, it's just depressing.
Yeah, okay, purposefully. My man.
Whenever Drongo ear rapes, it's just depressing.
Sorry, Conor McGregor trim. Conor McGregor trim.
I swear down, you better fuck off, you
He's
fucking
gonna
sales
take.
assistant.
He's gonna take your belt in a minute.
I'm not even kidding. Drongo literally looks like one of those kind of guys who freaking sits in customer service. Just like, I cannot understand
English.
English.
Being caught with a Muslim paedophile gang.
I can't understand English, but I will tell you to turn it off and on again about 10 million times. It's alright.
Hey, Lamar, baby. I'm gonna mute my microphone so
Blobby, I hate you so much right now.
What?
Like,
I'm losing, you cuck.
I know,
I'm
but
actually
you're just
enjoying
fucking.
this so far.
You're just freaking.
What's the next topic,
I
guys?
want to freaking destroy you fast.
Yeah, what's the next topic? This one's boring.
I'll check it. What number are we on? 4.
Yeah, we've done
Is
the
it?
Doom Eternal. Well, we kind of did the Doom Eternal topic. But...
Oh, actually, we've got an interesting one now. The LGBT pedo thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Go on. I won't start it because I don't know much about it. I'll just pick up.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Alright, so,
This is a blessing.
Alright, so paedophiles, like this one was actually added by me. Paedophiles are trying to get into the LGBT community because they believe that they are being oppressed.
Wait,
I don't think that's. I think you got that statement wrong. I think lefties are trying to integrate paedophilia into the LGBTQ community because they think they're being oppressed.
You know, to be fair,
That's what you should have said.
you have linked every single topic with lefties, but it's not.
Yeah, because lefties
I mean,
are
that's-
scum and they create all the
you,
problems.
right, can you stop trying to, like, just make this whole conversation about lefties? We're actually trying to have
Well, it
conversations
is.
about everything, not just lefties.
Well, it is about lefties.
It's not specifically about lefties.
Well, of course it is. The LGBT community is a left-wing construct. They created it.
Actually, no, the LGBT community wasn't actually created specifically by left wing.
Yeah, it was. What you think You think right-wing people are LGBT exclusive or accept the LGBT
It wasn't
community?
actually a political thing. LGBT wasn't a political thing. It was just simply.
Leave out.
What?
You think the all-accepting left wouldn't jump on that train as soon as it started? Even if it wasn't started by the left wing, it was definitely pioneered by them.
It wasn't pioneered
Oh
or started.
my.
They jumped
Oh
onto
God.
it.
Oh, come
and
on.
like I said, oh fuck you, Blobby.
Oh yeah, baby.
Jesus
I
Christ,
disagree with you.
Blobby. Alright, look, I don't want to make this all about left wing.
I don't think I am. I think the
anything.
left wing are making it,
All about
No,
that.
making
just-
these things. I mean,
I just don't want it all. I just don't want this whole conversation to be about left wing, man. I actually want it to be varied and about different
let's
things.
come to like a agreement. If we agree that most of these have got to do with left wing, but we don't always bring them up at every turn possible, is that viable?
the problem is, to me, it sounds like what you're trying to do is moderate what I'm saying.
No, I'm
Opinion
not.
to the point where I'm not allowed to have the opinion that lefties are creating all these things. If I have that opinion, then that's my opinion, right?
I know.
If
I
you
know,
don't agree
right,
with
right,
that,
right.
if you don't agree
Look.
with that, then give me a reason.
Right, look, I do agree with you that lefties do create a lot of things, but the thing is, they didn't create or pioneer LGBT. They joined the bandwagon.
I don't think so.
Because the thing is because I don't know how to fucking explain this. The LGBT community wasn't supposed to be a fucking pardon me. It wasn't supposed to be a political thing. It was just simply trying to basically stop people, basically stop like discrimination against different sexualities. It wasn't trying to do a left wing, right wing kind of thing. It was just simply, how do I explain it? It was there to. I'm trying to think how to explain this.
It would be inherently left-wing if we're talking about it in today's societal standards.
Yeah, in
All
today's
the
society,
left-wing wants
standards,
to-
yeah. But
Okay, so what you're saying is the left wing didn't create it but the LGBT community joined the left wing.
Well, nowadays they have, yeah.
I think if you ask any gay person, they'll be like, "Yeah, I'm voting for Jeremy Corbyn."
The
That's
thing
how
is,
that's how that
right.
works, in my opinion.
the thing is, I am bisexual. I'm gonna put it
Right.
out there. I don't give a fuck. I am
But
bisexual.
you're a anarchist. You're not right wing.
I'm not right wing or left wing. That's the thing. You don't have to be left wing.
Collectively left wing in a collective sense. Left wing is tolerating of anarchism, fucking communism,
Communism, bro.
all of that stuff would come into the left wing spectrum.
Drongo's happy he's a communist.
Fuck right off.
But no, I just
It would
don't,
come
I just
under
don't
that.
want the conversation to all be about left wingness because I wanted a varied conversation. That's all I wanted. I mean, granted, don't get me wrong. I cannot stand left wing. I cannot stand it. Yeah. And I'm not trying to.
I just think.
Look, Blair, I'm not trying to moderate this conversation so that it's so that you cannot have your opinion. You can have your opinion, but I just don't want it all to be about left wing. I want a varied kind of debate.
But every single thing that we've been talking about so far, the left have a big stake in all these things. Which is why I think it's important to talk about.
Not a massive stake. Not a massive stake. But
You
like,
don't think the left
this-
wing have a
this-
massive stake
yeah,
in all
but
these things?
the thing is this whole this whole debate that we've had so far has been specifically left wing.
On my end, yeah. If you want to debate
Yeah.
that, then you can. That's the point.
But like the thing is, I wanted to talk about what you believe about if pedos, like how the LGBT community are trying to push pedos in. I didn't want to bring the left wing into it because I wanted to talk about how the LGBT community are doing this and what you
In
think
my
about
opinion,
it.
in my opinion, if I say the word left wing, I would be referring to the LGBT community
Then can you say the LGBT community?
and not the left wing.
Yeah, it's like if you're going on about
Takes
the
too long.
LGBT.
Takes too long to say LGBTQ plus XXXXXYYYYGGG fucking
Then
all
just say
these.
LGB.
No,
LGB.
I'd rather just say left wing construct.
Alright, here. The LGBT community is trying to drag in pedos into the friggin' well, either with one of the others, it's either the pedos are trying to get in or the LGBT community is trying to get into there. Now the thing is, there is a lot of debate about this. Well, mostly pedos are going, yeah, I want to be in it, and LGBT community is going, get the fuck out. You know, how do you feel about it? What do you think we should do to stop this or start this? You know, that kind of thing.
Uh,
Go on.
well, I just think the left. I just think that the.
For fuck's sake.
I kind of have to bring it up, really. I mean, when you look at every single person who advocates for this paedophile shit, it's normally people with like punch Nazis on their Twitter handle and shit like that. So they're gonna be left wing. That's why I say left wing.
Blobby,
then I've
you
cleared
got-
that up.
Yeah.
That's what they are. They're lefties.
GG.
Alright, that's what you believe.
They're
Okay.
mentally disabled fucktards.
Okay, that's what you believe. That's all right. So, so what do you actually think about the topic? Do you believe that pedos should be allowed into it? Do you believe they shouldn't? Why?
I think paedophiles should be executed
All right. And why do you believe that?
because they're paedophiles. Because
Good.
they fuck kids.
There you go. So, what do you think we should do to stop the pedos from getting in the LGBT community? And trust me,
No offense.
they won't get into there because guaranteed they've got
They
no
probably
fucking
will.
chance. Out of every single person I've seen so far that I've talked to who are actually inside this community, because I don't really enjoy the community that much. They're all assholes. But a lot of them have turned around and gone, nah, fuck you guys, you ain't coming in.
They're already a part of it, right?
Then, if they are, then I am genuinely fucking done with the community.
Because the thing is, it's not just one community. There's like just sects of it.
I know there's sections of it, yeah, but I mean, like, as a whole, like,
There isn't an as a whole.
yeah,
there's no such
that's
thing as that.
true.
The majority of the quote unquote communities are just like Twitter handles and shit. There is no community. It's bullshit. It's a lie.
It's a generalization for the actualization.
Exactly.
But yeah. Right, can I just point this out there? Can I just point this out there, Blair? I wasn't actually trying to moderate it or trying to stop you from having your
I
opinion.
don't know, I just think it seemed that way.
I know, I just didn't want to have it specifically about left wing. I just kind of wanted a varied conversation. I know, like, a lot of these topics are to do with left wing and stuff. I just didn't want it all to be about that, you know.
I'm just pointing out the left wing's bullshit because I hate them. I hate them a lot.
Really, bro?
Yeah, I couldn't
guess
tell.
that.
I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell at all.
Really, bro?
I couldn't really tell that he hated him. Could you,
Could you elaborate on that, please?
could you tell that he
Ah,
I'm not gonna
completely
carry on
oblivious.
with that.
For a second there, I thought you loved them.
Yeah,
I just hate people that think that everybody should respect and love everybody no matter what. That is a retarded way to think about things.
it
And
is
if you think
retarded
like
to
that,
think
you're a fucking... If you think like that, then you're a fucking idiot. If you love and respect everybody because of who they are, you're an idiot. Because if you think like that, then you have to include everybody. Pedophiles, rapists, scumbags like that.
Yeah, molester.
Alright,
Imagine
So,
how good the world would be then.
Blobby,
So, what
so
happened?
Blobby,
What else was it?
what do you think about PEDOS joining the LGBT community?
Did you say me?
Yeah,
Obviously I don't want them to because I think I'm with Blair. I think pedos should be executed.
yeah, they should be.
Or just
Granted.
cut the fucking
They are
bullshit
the,
off.
they are the
Yeah.
scum of the earth.
1 second.
But like you, I've never seen anyone from the LGBT community like saying that pedos should be allowed in. So I don't think they will. I think they have no chance of getting in.
Yeah, they have their own section, but no one wants to join that section because no one wants to even, like, want to know them. They don't want to know them at all.
They don't associate that with the LGBT community.
I do not associate with...
Pedophiles.
Well, there's
I was just waiting
pedophiles.
for Willie to jump on that and say the naughty word. Is Willie even here?
I don't know, but I'm kind of remember
names.
names. But yeah, I'm kind of, to be honest, I'm really glad that they don't really have a chance of being properly like dug into the community because no matter what they try to do, they won't get anywhere with it because no one wants them there. No one wants to see that.
No, I think that's not true. I'm sure the left wing would very much like that.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And they would. I mean,
To be honest, yeah, they would.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but Mitchell, you said yeah, but
alright, I'll make you a deal. I won't say the word left wing or use it at all.
you won't say the.
However, if it's relevant,
left wing.
If it's relevant, I will say it. I don't care.
yeah.
I was gonna say
But
about,
I just don't want to make it. Alright, you can say it and everything. That's perfectly fine. I just don't want the whole topic to be about it. Is that okay with you?
If it's like 100% relevant, then I'll make it like that.
Okay. There's Blobby
If that's my opinion, everyone gets their right to an opinion. They don't have to follow what I'm saying. They can say something completely different, right? But that's my opinion. That's what I think.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm fine with you having your opinion and everything, you know. But try not to make every single bit of a topic about that single opinion.
I mean, I don't make it that way. They do. But...
Drongo, can you stop breathing down the mic? I know you've walked for 5 steps, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, fuck you,
Yeah,
kid.
stop slobbering down the mic.
It's not because I was walking. I stuck my brother's cock and he deep throated me.
I'm gonna go make some porridge.
Okay,
I'll let you
what
know.
happened with the LGBT while I was away?
Waleed, Can you end this phrase real quick? I don't associate with.
Don't you dare, 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 don't you
I
dare,
don't
don't you dare, don't you
associate
dare,
with.
don't you dare, 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 don't you dare.
He said it. He said it.
I
So I'm
know,
gonna
but
make some porridge.
luckily I hear it to the point where you won't be able to properly hear it inside.
What do you mean when I said niggas?
I'm gonna get that porridge, you little nig.
Quick
Oh, for
question.
fuck's sake.
I've got a quick
I
question.
was gonna,
Oh, I hate my life.
I was gonna say something about Lara's point, but he seems to have gone.
What is? I know this
I'll just talk about it. Yeah.
But
What is the LGBT?
Well, I was talking to
Blah.
Blur about. Blur said what did he say? He said he thinks pedos. I know the LGBT would like pedos.
Uh-huh.
Now I don't think he says that because he has a very
Narrow view.
No, not narrow, because he's right about a lot of things in the LGBT. Like they are very retarded.
Yeah.
But I think he's like a really strong believer in this, so he inflates a lot of what he says
Yeah.
because he's so passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because me and Sis, we don't think that they want pedophiles, because who wants a pedophile?
Yeah.
Muslims.
To be honest,
Yeah.
To be honest, I just kind of like.
I just think Blur's very passionate about it. That's why he says like very broad statements. Like,
Yeah, I know that. It's just more like in that single part of it, I am very educated in the whole community kind of thing because, well, I kind of had to be part of it for a while. Trust me, the LGBT community, they are very hypocritical.
Yeah.
The actual LGBT community is very hypocritical, and I can tell you that because I have actually been in that community.
okay, so you have first hand.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
first-hand experience. Like, I remember I went to one of the Pride things because they were like, oh, come, one of my friends was like, oh, come to Pride, you're bisexual, you'd be perfectly fine here. I went there and I genuinely had the worst time ever. I was ridiculed and took the piss out of just because I was bisexual. Believe it or not, the people at Pride believe that bisexuality doesn't exist.
Yes, they accept everyone.
Yeah. Bisexuality
Okay.
doesn't exist to the LGBT community, but supposedly they love LGBT, and it's like, they love every single kind of like sexuality, and it's like, what the fuck are you on about? It pisses me off. Like, the amount of hypocrisy inside the fucking Pride community and the LGBT community is fucking insane. Like, you can't sit there saying you accept everyone, and then when someone comes up to you and goes, I'm bisexual, I like both boys and girls, and you can't just turn around and be like, no, you're lying, this doesn't exist. And it's like, I've fucked a boy, I've fucked a girl, I enjoyed both of them, I would enjoy both of them again. How does that prove
That singular sentence just sums up my night.
I mean, you get what I mean, but don't you? It's fucking
Yeah.
stupid. Like, how, like, I am very, like, that's what I mean, I am educated in this kind of community because I've had to be a part of it, and when I was, it was the most horrible fucking experience I had. But I do
With the
know...
lefties.
What did you say?
I'm
With the
gonna,
lefties.
I'm gonna slit your throat and fuck the wound.
What do you guys think of the coon problem in America?
Oh!
Alright,
Oh! Are you
no,
talking
shush!
about all of them?
Alright. No. I was actually on about a good thing right then. I was actually talking to Blobby about how the LGBT community and the freaking Pride community are very
Left-wing.
very hypocritical. You fucking troglodyte. Let me finish talking. I was talking about how they're very hypocritical because when I actually went to one of the prides, because one of my friends dragged me along, I hated it because I was ridiculed and took the piss out of just because of the fact that I was bisexual, and the pride community doesn't seem to think that it exists. Supposedly you cannot be bisexual because it's not a real thing.
Uh-huh.
So what's your take on that?
You asking me?
Wait, did Blur just disappear again?
I think so. By the way, what the fuck is the LGBT community?
Lesbian, gays, bisexuals, and transsexuals.
So basically,
got, like,
all forms of sexuality
right.
being accepted except for bis,
Yeah.
like yourself. Right. Cool. I think that's fucking retarded.
Can you see what I mean, though? How hypocritical is that?
Funny enough, Blair, actually, I know for a fact, he disagrees with people being gay because he believes they cannot provide to society. Because if you raise a child, you know how reproduction and population crisis, right?
Oh, you were talking to me about this, weren't you, mate?
Yeah, he says, yeah, it was actually, mate. So he says that they can't provide to product because if you live with gay parents, you will be raised to believe that gay is the way to go. Funny enough, he contradicted himself at one point because we had a deep conversation, right? And he said that what's the point of giving birth to someone in this shitty world? Yet he believes in the idea of population crisis, right? I don't think I've ever brought it up with him. I might do it when he comes back. But yeah, it's like
That would be a really good,
because
add to the stream.
if I said
Yeah, it would.
I don't want to die, right? But I don't think this world is amazing, right? But I don't want to off myself just like that. I have a very extremist view in life. I don't think anyone would agree with me, but you know how our tax money goes to elderly?
Yeah.
When I reach that point, I would probably want to off myself because I don't like being a liability or having to rely on someone else just to survive. I think that if taxpayers' money should go to something good for the community and the future generation, I should just off myself and have that money go to something better than an old man who's on his last legs.
Well, they've actually made a new home for old people, which is really good. It's called a graveyard.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
I
thought you were
think
being something serious then.
I think old people. This sounds very weird, 'cause a lot of people love their granddads, their grandmas. I think they should off themselves. You're a liability. Like, if you want to be loved, you will love for 60 to something years. If you actually want and you want to experience your life now, sure. But if you're old, off yourself. You're a liability to taxpayers. That money can provide for people and rejuvenate certain areas within countries, and yet we spend it so that you can have so that you can have a great plate ready for dinner. No. I'm gonna ask fucking Blair about this.
The actualization of, the left wing.
Oh,
I'm Mongoloid.
He's back.
I got a question for you, Mongoloid.
Yeah.
I believe. So you know when you're old, you rely on taxpayers' funds, right?
What?
You get you know how old people rely on taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
Like your taxes go to elderly.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, kind of. I have a very extremist view, saying that if you're old, you should off yourself because you're a liability. Because that taxpayers' money can go to benefiting this community, yet it goes to old people who are on their last legs. Like, you've experienced 62
Or,
years of
we
your
should
life.
stop being retards and pay for our own healthcare and not relying on everyone else for it.
Yeah.
That's a great argument to me. We could do that, but until we actually reach a stepping point in that, I'd say at this point the best thing is all old people to off themselves. All that tax money we provide to them can probably fix places like Marsh Farm. And
No, it can't. Nothing can
Well,
fix a community of scumbags.
no, fair point, but
They'll just
at least
fuck
make
it up
look
again.
physically.
Even if you make it look nice again, they'll just fuck it.
I mean, Marsh Farm's a very shit example, but the reason I mention it is because Luton Council were planning on doing something, but due to inward corruption, it didn't go out as planned. It's very funny,
Well,
actually.
they plan to put a fucking roller coaster or some retarded shit like that there.
No, actually, they planned to clean it, but you know what someone did? He
What?
took all the money and hear me out, he built a theme park inside of Marsh Farm. Why would you take a child into an area with such high crime rate? I've met one man.
No one's gonna mug a baby though, are they? Like,
Yeah, but I mean, a baby being Like, if you expose your child
Except me.
to violence, that is by law abuse. If your child is exposed to violence,
What does
that's
that
abuse.
mean? No,
So
it's not.
If that's a fact, that's
It's not a fact.
You can search it up all you want. If you're a child and your parents smack each other in the face, that's abuse to the child. Your parents have a responsibility to not expose to such violence.
I just got touched.
That's not a good thing.
Right in my peephole.
Yeah, I know it's not.
Yeah, I was losing, and all of a sudden you.
And it's not illegal.
It's not illegal, but it's abuse. It's a form of abuse. You'll see it on many shows like Jamie Kyle and Dr. Phil and shit.
I don't think so.
You
I
can
think
give it a
it's good
search.
to expose your kids to extreme violence as kids so they're desensitized to it going on. So
Yeah,
they don't
but
become
it's-
weaklings like
it's-
the left wing.
You're correct, but it's difficult. It's
Sorry, I had to
difficult.
slide that in there.
You have to slide that in.
It's so hard.
Slide it in, baby.
It's easy to control a
Yeah,
child,
you see.
but it's hard to make a child open their eyes at a young age. I believe a certain age is when.
No, it's not. Just fuck them.
Yeah, okay. I mean, just like your dad did.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
that's a joke.
But yeah, I don't think it's extremely horrible. I think in some forms it's necessary. I just think there's a certain age limit where it's like a no-go. Like at 3 years old, you shouldn't expose your child to violence because they're so young that they can't even fathom what the fuck's going on.
What do you mean?
So you know how I was just talking about exposing a child to violence, meaning letting
Yeah, what do
them
you
see
mean by
this?
that?
If your mom and dad punch themselves in the face and you're a very young child, that is legally considered abuse. It's not illegal, but it is considered to be
Yo,
abuse.
bro, that's abuse.
Well, I mean,
You
exposing,
punched
they
yourself
let
in
you.
the face, you
they-
just abused
They,
your
they
child.
put you in a position where you are forced to see that happen. Now, at your age, you could say that's showing you the real world. That's fine. But if I show that to a 3-year-old, that's not exactly, like they aren't gonna make heads or tails about this. They don't know what the fuck just happened. But that doesn't make it okay. I believe that's why I'm saying a certain
But
age.
when they get forced to become trannies.
yeah, yeah.
Because
That's why I
of
think.
They
I'm not
don't
gonna.
know what's going on.
I'm not gonna say there's a certain age.
Balls.
But I do believe there's a certain. I just can't think of one from the top of my head.
Uh,
Like your age, Thompson. I think if your parents had violence in front of you, I wouldn't ridicule it as
these names
abuse
are amazing.
because you're old enough to make your own decisions at that point.
Hmm.
You're old enough to open the door where your parents are having a fight and stop them.
Why do
But
I,
I'm not saying
why
the
do,
parents.
why do I think that that our podcasts are just gonna get so memed up if people actually find them?
Oh yeah, they will. But I mean, at least our faces aren't fucking in it.
That's a good point.
There's gonna be a meme about the left wing and
Yeah, it's literally just gonna be. It's literally just gonna be a name. It's literally just gonna be every meme just Blur.
The one
Random
who's gonna get
object,
memed
is
the
this
most is
left
Blair.
wing. Yeah, Blur. You're gonna get like meme to fuck.
But he won't be wrong. I mean, he's stated facts this entire time, which I think
he
is
has
good.
stated facts.
No, I won't get memed. Reason being, the left wing can't meme, and they'll be the only people that would take my arguments.
Yeah, but I would.
The only
meme
people that would meme me are faggots and retards who don't know what they're talking about. So it's alright.
Alright, let's be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
fuck
meme,
off. I would
the
still
meme,
meme
the
you.
meme, the fact that Mark Zuckerberg acts slightly weird. You will get memed.
Yeah.
They'll meme anything.
Well, like
Who will?
this pick for free Zuckbucks.
I'm fine with it.
Bail them out.
I'm fine with it. This podcast will get popular and we might actually earn money off just simply the fact that you just like to be political.
well, bro, are you doing this for the money?
Money
Yeah,
through
bro.
who?
Nobody'd be happy. No,
Money
I'll-
from who?
the thing is that I can easily monetize these things like Patreon, all that kind of shit, and then we can literally split the money 4 ways.
Oh, that's cool.
You should check
Right.
out my Patreon.
No, I'm alright. I don't want to have a 4-way. I've got a girlfriend.
Oh,
Oh.
Okay, you pulled the sly one just because I'm a Muslim and I'm still a virgin. You are Mong.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
pulled a
like,
cheeky one.
you mustn't be a Muslim because you haven't gone to the kids since you were a virgin.
Oh,
Huh?
Oh,
You're taking the piss
that,
out.
yeah.
oh, that one was a bit.
Bail them out.
That one's,
I don't
that one's
care.
gonna get in a lot of shit.
I just edit it out.
Nah, I don't
A lot of
care.
us
I'm putting all this. I'm putting all this
Listen.
up how it is. I don't care.
Well, even niggers.
Yes. Even that.
Yes.
Even that.
My man.
I literally.
Anyway, what's
I
the next topic?
Is anyone
Sorry for cutting
has
in.
anyone got the thing loaded up?
I've got it. 1 second. Just comment. Topic 1.5. BURKAS. No, we did that. Topic 4. Oh, topic 5. Jamie Oliver taxing sugar and wanting to ban Asian.
Oh,
And then topic
Yeah.
6 is the last one.
This one I do actually genuinely fucking hate.
Alright. Who wants to start? Because I think a lot of us here have. A lot
I wonder how Blur's going to integrate the left wing.
No.
Well,
I
how good
say
is the
we
left wing in
start.
this?
I say we start with Blobby first because he hasn't started one yet.
Oh yeah, fair.
Oh,
Jamie
just-
Oliver.
But
taxing energy
one
drinks.
second. We need a moment of silence for this absolute destruction which is about to happen.
What do you mean?
Check
Oh.
your screen.
Oh.
Wait.
Press F.
It gets worse.
Boys. What are you gonna do now?
This
gonna
is
rape
so
me?
sad. This is so sad. Alexa, play
Alexa,
Despacito. Alright,
Okay.
come on, Blobby.
Uh,
So it's about Jamie Oliver taxing sugar and like
Banning energy drinks.
Taxing
Trying.
sugar? What do you mean by that?
sugar in drinks and shit like that.
Oh, so sugary drinks get replaced with sweeteners, and I personally believe sweeteners are a bit worse. But actually,
Oh,
sorry, I'm quoting Scissors there. I don't actually know the difference. That's Scissors
what
quote.
a beta. What a beta.
He's basically trying to replace them, and he's also
You
wanting
think-
to ban energy drinks completely.
So I'm guessing his reasoning for banning energy drinks is it's so unhealthy, bro.
Yeah, this entire thing is it's unhealthy. Your kids will become fat. There's a lot more to it than that. He's making it seem so simple.
I've literally got a healthy energy drink in my room.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but
Um,
look, most
love it.
energy drinks nowadays, I would say, aren't like dangerous for kids. Like, I mean, like most energy drinks are like they don't have like a load of sugar in them. Like the only ones I can think of, like off the top of my head, is like a Monster, like that.
Mountain Dew.
Well, yeah, Monster and Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Well, that's two. There are like thousands of energy drinks.
What about Rockstar?
Yeah, but what are you talking about?
I think it's a bit stupid, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's really stupid. He's just a health freak. I mean,
Yep.
he banned, what is it? Well, he banned that chocolate a while ago. I forgot what it's called.
Do we know?
Yeah, he passed his vote to ban this certain type of like chocolate bar
I'm gonna search this up. I'll
because it
find
was
the name
like
for you.
too fattening.
Uh-huh.
But like, you can say that for every like chocolate bar.
He banned flavored milk.
Flavored goddamn milk.
Yeah.
Don't know after this.
He tried to ban flavored milk.
No. He
You're joking.
did. He
But he-
banned it in school cafeterias in
Oh.
LA.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
It has 120 calories. That's not a lot, my man.
That's not a lot.
Yeah, that's like a Kit Kat bar.
120 calories.
That's like
Oh,
what, 2 Kit Kat
no.
bars. 2 Kit Kat little packets. Close that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think he's a health freak.
The thing is, he's a health freak who doesn't know what he's on about.
Exactly.
And what's even better about it is,
Gordon Ramsay.
yeah, Gordon Ramsay pretty much
Mr.
turned around.
Ramsay.
The
Mr.
God.
The God. Gordon Ramsay. We'll call him Gordon Ramsay from now on. He literally turned around. He pretty much turned around and called Jamie Oliver a cunt.
I know how Blur's gonna enter the left wing into this.
I'm surprised he hasn't turned around and talked about Yorkie
I know
bars
how
yet.
he's gonna do it.
I'm surprised he hasn't turned around and talked about Yorkie bars yet.
Hmm. Yeah. I think Jamie
Yeah, I
Oliver's
just think
uncultured.
he's a health freak that doesn't exactly know what he's talking about because he goes after like this certain thing. If he doesn't like fattening chocolate bars, why doesn't he try and like go for every type of fattening chocolate bar and try and bring in healthy ones?
Yeah.
He just goes for Drongo said, like a Kit Kat bar doesn't even have a lot of calories in it, so he shouldn't really have a problem with these things. He's just a health freak.
Yeah.
He sees these things they're fattening, and he's like, oh, we don't need that in our lives. They don't help
I
us.
think he is unaware of what it means to truly be dangerous to the human body in
But
terms
you-
of food.
But you know what's actually really funny though? He himself is fat.
Yeah, it'd be really good if he actually created new cheap products which he tested for a month and got really skinny off of. That would probably be a very powerful argument. Yet he's done nothing of the sort. He just said my steak is $1,000. Make sure you buy that
Blur's
shit.
very quiet. It's
Are you there,
It's
Blur?
quite worrying.
it's startling me.
He's
Just
just
stay
saying.
silent. All of you just stay silent for about 20 seconds, just a second.
Oh god.
Right, let's.
Nigger, what?
One sec. 20 seconds, just a second.
What?
Right,
Nigger, what? Nigger, what?
what is this?
Wait, what? What?
Nigger,
She's saying nigger what?
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Damn it!
Stop!
This is so sad. Alexa, play Despacito on 9000.
Alexa, play Despacito.
nigger.
One of us needs to get an Alexa just so we can do this.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, I
We
know.
got Blur's opinion on this.
Jamie Oliver.
Yeah,
let's
Jamie
get his
Oliver
opinion.
Jamie Oliver taxing sugar and wanting to ban energy drinks. What is your opinion on this?
Kind of reminds me of the way that it's very reminiscent of the way that lefties try and ban speech.
Oh, do it.
He flipped it. He
I'll
flipped
be
it,
upfront
boys.
with
He
you. I'll be
flipped
upfront
it.
with you. I don't think
He
that
fucking
people,
flipped it.
specifically the government, should be able to decide what people
Eat.
intake, because it will get to the point where people can only eat fucking sandwiches for the rest of their lives if we keep letting people take over what we do and do not eat.
Yeah, but you won't be able to do that because bread's very fattening.
I
You won't be able to eat
Partially-
sandwiches because bread's very fattening.
partially agree with you, yet at the same time I don't. I don't believe the government should control what we eat, but I believe the government should have a health plan like in the works for people who are obese.
No.
Yeah, Drongo will be part of that.
Here's what I mean. When
he
there's an
needs to,
when
No,
obese,
Drongo, that's retarded, because then we'd end up spending more taxes on bullshit we don't need.
but when obese people are killing themselves
Killing
ordering
their
15
pizza.
boxes of pizza, wasting their money on fattening food just so they can kill themselves.
I don't think that happens.
Video.
Yes, I am.
You don't know I got that video.
That's a perfect example. They're wasting their money far more than.
And what are they doing in that? They're adding money to the economy by giving money to whatever the pizza corporation is. So whatever.
Fair point, but those people
And
don't work,
they're
they live off
dying.
benefits.
And they're dying.
Drongo,
And
Drongo,
some of them
Drongo,
are living off benefits.
Drongo,
Yeah, go on.
you need to send. You need to put a video into Discord of you doing truffle shuffles, just so I can pixelate your face and shove it into Discord and just shove it into YouTube channel.
What the fuck is truffle shuffles?
You've never
Oh my
watched
God.
You've never watched Goonies.
Nah, sorry, no, what's that?
Oh no.
Who
you
here has
missed
watched
out.
that? Go on, say I if you've watched that. Exactly.
Oh, man.
Right, Goonies is a classic. Like Goonies
What the
is
fuck is
genuinely.
Goonies, dude? What the fuck?
It's an old movie, but it's a fucking classic. And Truffle Shuffle is this like little fat kid, which is shaking his belly about because he's fat as fuck.
I think you're the only person in the world that's ever heard of this Goonies.
Goonies. Right, 1 second. Let me just get up. Lovely.
I think you should go
Googles.
watch the Oats movie on YouTube by Joe Cope.
God.
Right, let's see.
It's Wednesday, my dudes.
Dudes.
I kind of agree with the idea that it's a bit of a waste for health plans for taxpayers,
Right,
but if you
Goonies.
live off benefits.
Goonies Goonies has been watched by millions.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
people.
I've googled it and nothing comes up.
Oh, shut the
It
fuck up.
sounds like bullshit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've
same.
googled it.
GOONIES. Nothing's
Yes.
coming out.
Goonies.
You are bullshitting.
I
Yep,
swear.
nothing comes up.
You're bullshitting.
I've bullshitting. What does that mean?
I said
There's nothing
you're
coming up.
bullshitting.
Did you just say you've bullshitting?
I said you're
Did you fail
bullshitting.
English, my
You
dude?
said you're
bullshitting, you bloody bastard.
1 sec.
No, you've
look in
bullshit.
the podcast text channel. I've literally just put up a screenshot proving me right.
Okay, hang on. Tim, I've got
What,
something to
Magic
ask
the Gathering? That's not really a...
What?
I've got a question
You've
to
put a
ask you.
screenshot, you've put a fucking picture of your magic, you retard. What
No,
does
I
that have
haven't.
anything to do with
No, I
Goonies?
have. No, that's in the general. I'm in the podcast text channel.
You know, that'd be a really funny line in a movie. I love you guys! Just that line, good.
Oh, we got
You
a
know
bit
what
of
I
shit
mean?
posting.
I love you guys!
We got a bit of shit posting there. Top Cat.
I'm probably triggering someone right now. The
By the
Goonies-
way,
That's Photoshop, dude. The Earth is
Yeah.
flat and that's Photoshop.
yeah,
Shut up, flat earther.
the lefties are a great provider to society.
The lefties, that's fake news. Put on,
Yeah,
that's fake news.
Snapchat streaks actually
That's-
cause diabetes.
That's CNN right there, dude.
Right, you've just gone from flat earthers to friggin' anti-vax just in seconds.
Jamie Oliver is actually Jamie Corbyn.
Oh my god. You know how some people, you know how, no, this is really important. You know how some people think that on Google's listening to you all the time?
Yep.
You know when we're talking about Goonies, it just came up in recommended films to buy.
Oh, that's cool.
What?
No, that's fucking scary.
That's good.
Well, they're not.
You know,
they're
there
legally
is
not
actually-
allowed to.
You know, there is actually proof online. Like, there's actually a guy who did a video proving that it actually fucking happened.
They do listen to you, but they're not allowed to report on you for anything.
No, but they do listen
Like
to you,
I could
and they
talk
do.
to you right now
They do
about my plan
recommend
to
things.
kidnap a child.
They do
They can't do
recommend.
anything.
They do recommend things according to what you talk about.
Wait, so if I type in, if I talk about children, do they recommend me dolls?
I don't fucking know.
I don't want to think about that. Actually, fuck that.
That just means that all of the words that you say are archived.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's actually recently.
Today, in the future, they could turn that around.
Yeah, I think they started doing that since last year, sometime last year. They archive everything we say and type into Google. And they-
Brilliant.
Apparently, they put it in like a folder with your name on it, and they will never release it to public. They just safekeep it for life.
They will probably use it in court if you ever went against Google, which there's no point because you get absolutely
Because
arsed.
Google's run by
To be,
lefties.
to be fair, Google cannot talk. They don't pay their taxes, and they're run by lefties. You know.
Lefties, bro.
Oh, no. I actually do want to talk about that. How companies do not pay taxes.
Oh, that topic.
They
is
do,
over.
you retard. There's like 3 that I can think of that don't.
Yeah, the 3 big ones.
There's more than 3
Ah.
because if you actually research it, there's actually more than 3.
Well,
And
the 3 huge ones would provide a lot to our economy.
Wow.
the taxes which these companies, if they did actually pay, would literally basically make it so that we only need to pay like 10% of our taxes.
What did you say?
Because of how much they've actually, like, if they did actually pay all the taxes they needed to pay, pretty much we wouldn't have to pay half of the taxes which we do. We'd have to pay like 10% rather than 20%.
Technically they're doing nothing wrong.
Yeah,
I
if you
know.
think about it.
In the law, in like the eyes of the law, they're not.
Which is why I think they're going to keep
In the eyes of the
accumulating money.
law, they're utilising a legal. This just plays into what I was saying before. Our government and our legal system, the EU, is weak and trash. It's fucking awful. Doesn't do anything for
I
anyone.
don't think we can expect change until we leave the EU, really.
You're a big boy.
Which we're not leaving the EU, by the way. We're fucked.
Are we not? We
No.
thought we fucking were.
No, we're pretending to.
Aren't we leaving next year?
No, we're not.
Just out of curiosity, why do you say we're pretending? I'm not saying you're lying, I'm just curious.
Because we signed a deal with them where we keep everything that we already have, but we, on paper, leave the EU.
Are we legally allowed to change that?
No,
Hang on, so are memes getting
they
banned?
still, maybe.
Because
They make
there's-
all our rules.
Oh wait, that got banned. Wait, so what was the point of leaving? What, so we don't pay them money and we lose like so many millions?
The point of leaving was so we don't have to abide by their laws anymore. We have to make our own laws.
And we refuse to do that. Our government.
Yeah, our own government turned it around and fucked us over, which is nice.
So Nigel Farage.
Everyone involved. Yeah, Farage was trying to make everything better, and Theresa May fucked us. So GG.
Interesting.
Is that a Farage supporter?
So
Is that a Farage?
Farage supporter?
Why does
I
Farage sound like a Muslim
Farage.
name?
I am a Farage supporter.
Farage sounds like a Muslim name. Like, oh, Farage. Oh, GG. We're fucked.
I don't think Farage does anything wrong, to be honest.
Alright,
Not at the moment, no.
Shall we finish on the final topic and then end the podcast?
Go on. That is vegan activist with the desert fox.
Oh yeah, there was a vegan. Alright, no, actually, Blur knows this best, so I'll let him.
Give some backstory, neighbor.
Alright. There was a Spanish woman, she's a vegan, and she basically reckons that she rescued a abused fucking desert fox from like these. It's probably a bullshit story. She probably just fucking bought one off the internet, the retard. But basically, she's got a desert fox, which, if you know anything about a desert, obviously all there is meat, right? There's no plants. So they live off a meat diet, right? But as because she's a vegan, she's forced a fucking fox to become a vegan as well. And as a result of this, the fox has ended up really skinny and it's just dying. And her answer to that, to people basically telling her, you realise you're abusing the animal, her answer to that is, no, it's just got health issues. It's got nothing to do with its diet.
Oh god.
Yeah. So
Jesus.
If the fox dies, what will happen to her? Will she get into court for animal abuse?
No.
GG.
this is a country which stabs balls for fun.
Ah, fair point.
Like,
Yeah.
even though I don't really care about animals and them dying or whatever, I think that
Sensitive bastard.
I think that, like, literally, if you're that retarded that you think you're doing a good thing and you're actually fucking it, then you're an idiot that should be executed.
Animals dying.
I mean,
animals
It's,
dying.
it's common
I'm not-
sense at the end of the day.
Animals dying, I'm not really that fussed about. It's more animals being abused, which I'm fussed about.
Yeah. So is that woman, apparently.
She's actually abusing the fucking animals. She's
Not
not doing
according to
anything.
her. Apparently she's a really good vegan activist.
I pulled a little sneaky on you.
That's why I hate vegans, because they're stupid retards that don't know what they're talking about. Just virtue signaling. No vegan actually cares about animals. It's bullshit. Lies. It's a facade.
Lies, boy. You're lying to me.
Vegans just care about making themselves look good in front of people, in my opinion. They don't actually give a single fuck.
In your opinion.
In my always correct, statement-based, fact-based opinion. I'm always right, mate.
You're always right.
But yeah,
I'm the
so so what do you think?
I am
about-
a god. Huh?
So obviously, as we all think about this, right? Actually, we haven't heard Drongo's side because he just kind of turned around and went, "Is shit." So Drongo, what do you think?
Sorry,
about,
what?
What do you think about the spastic woman who's trying to pretty much just kill an animal off because she's vegan?
Alright, guys, let me just clarify something here. If you're not vegan, you're not cool, alright? If you want to eat meat and
Now
say,
that is gay.
Oh
That's the most beta thing I've ever heard.
Listen,
in my life.
That is so bitter.
listen, if you're not eating the meat, you aren't paying F to pay respects. No. You're a beta. Real alphas eat salad, tomatoes, instead of a cucumber up their ass for lube.
You're the master of baiting. You're the master of beta.
We
Let's
are.
be honest.
Actually,
I think she's a prick.
honestly, I am so glad that we actually have Drongo here because he is genuinely the meme lord who just kind of disperses the whole conversation.
Well,
Yeah,
I
he's
think,
like to
I think
believe.
Blur's. I think Blur's good with memeing, but the reason I'm good is because I am currently getting rammed by my brother during podcasts.
God damn it.
During
I
podcasts,
thought you were
I'm
going to say
feeling-
something really egotistical then, but then I remembered I'm the ego one.
Yeah, you're the ego one.
I am a god.
GG KSI. Go beat Jake Paul for a CEO of Walmart.
Jake Paul's a retard.
Also, did you know what Jake Paul did? I'm just gonna slide this in here. In the press conference, he accidentally said, "After my brother fucks up Logan," on accident. He's such a
Wait, what?
fucking. He said on the UK press conference by accident, "After my brother fucks up Logan." Jake Paul said that by accident,
Oh my god.
and someone memed him. You know that Sir Ferg dude. He
What,
memed.
Bell End?
Yeah. No, he's not a band. He's actually alright. He just makes meme videos. on
Wait,
YouTube.
what? No, I said
Sir-
Logan Paul is a retard.
Oh, sorry, I meant Sir Ferg.
Or Jake Paul, whatever. Both of them are
Yeah.
idiots.
They're all
Yeah.
retards.
To be fair, I'm drifting off topic. Deji's the worst, but the Spanish lady, she's a twat. She doesn't understand what survival of the fittest. She doesn't understand.
Despacio.
She doesn't. Despacito. She doesn't understand what it means to remove someone from the ecosystem and change their lifestyle. You cannot adapt
Despacio.
that easily.
She's that,
Despacio.
she's that retarded. We might as well start saying Despacito.
Yeah.
I
Despacito.
have to.
Despano.
Despacito.
Mm. Despanico.
No, because that's a contradiction. Because C means yes and so despa.
Yeah. Well, that's my take on it. Who's next?
Alright, so obviously we've heard Blair's opinion on it since he was actually talking about it. He was the one introducing it. So, Blobby?
Alright, on this topic, I've actually heard another story kind of like this. It was another vegan, and they bought this dog. It was called a Czechoslovakian wolf pup. Wolf pup. So it was a heavy meat diet, and they decided to give it like loads of vegan food, and it eventually started like having like constant diarrhea. It was always ill, and it got so skinny it was smaller than a chihuahua. So I don't know if anyone heard of this YouTuber. It's like Vegan Gains. Have you ever heard of him?
Oh yeah, that fucking psychopath.
Yeah,
said he
that's
wanted
the
to
guy
fuck-
who
so
did it.
fucking fun. He's so funny. Just because of how stupid he is.
Yeah, that's the guy who did it.
That's fucked up.
But when he found out, that
Yeah, and he filmed his granddad dying.
Really?
yeah, he did.
How
And
can
he laughed.
And then he got mad because his family got mad at him for filming his granddad dying.
Yeah, he
He
was
was
filming
like,
it and
I
laughed.
just wanted to show people what happens when you live on a meat diet. I want to film my granddad dying, just to show what happens when you eat meat.
What an idiot! Why
Well-
doesn't? You can't use a dying man who tried a meat diet as an excuse, especially when it's your fucking granddad.
And this guy, he got mad, like when he found out like his dog wasn't allowed to go on a meat diet, a vegan diet. I think he was seriously thinking of abusing his girlfriend, which is Alf,
Wow. Alpha as
And
fuck.
he's black.
and he's black.
Oh, you just made it.
You already know.
I just have to add that in.
You've actually made it. The fact that he's black makes this all the more worse and all the more acceptable, because he's a nigger.
They'll feed him a chicken nugget.
Yeah, the woman's a psychopath. She's
GG.
definitely abusing that dog. Or
Does-
fox or whatever it is.
To be fair, I don't think you should put animal rights. Like, if you can, that's fine. But I think
Yeah, Despacio.
I don't think vegans have the right to adopt animals if they have the intent of making them vegan.
I think if you're a vegan that has a pet, then you're a retard.
Yep, basically.
How is one going to add the left into this?
Well, the
Yeah,
left
that
wing
is-
are tolerant of everything, so they love rape.
You cannot
Why
simply
do you
have a
say-
political podcast without adding the left.
Left wingers love being raped. Let's just all admit it.
Oh, I've got one.
If they get raped, seriously, if you ever hear a lefty complain about how they got raped, just laugh in their face.
Oh, say to them, I'm glad you. I laughed when you had cancer.
And then say Despacio and walk away.
Oh, fucking hell.
look him straight in the eye and say,
Spat.
Despacio. And they walk away.
And
No,
then
no,
we'll
not
go
even,
away.
not even gotta just like Despacio. Like, just look at me like Despacio.
Say it
Kiss
like a
him on
really
the cheek.
Mexican Spanish accent.
Just kiss him on the cheek and be like, "I'll see you later, babe," and walk off.
Oh.
Or you could just look him in the eye and say, vegan gains is a neglect.
Wait.
Oh
Do
God,
vegans? Wait, do vegans have sex? Because here's what I'm
You're
thinking.
not blocking any of
Hopefully
this
not, I
pussy.
don't want him to reproduce.
No, here's what I mean. If they say, I'm gonna take your big thick meat inside me, you're a vegan. Hang on.
Lacking.
Yeah. How can you be caught lacking that hard?
Yeah, how are you gonna sing Despacio and then go back and sing Justin Bieber? What's wrong with you?
Exactly. Despacio or nothing. It's Wednesday.
He's got raped.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
just got absolutely fucked up. Alright, so I think me being absolutely destroyed in this game is a perfect place to end on.
Nico Bella
Yeah.
brains
Did you get
victorious.
anally destroyed?
Yeah, he
By a
was
black
full
male.
on- He like literally, it was a very close match and he destroyed me right at the end.
Nico
Did you
Bella
get-
reigns victorious.
Did you get a
I
royally
can sing
bump?
Despacio.
Dispatch,
Right. So let's end this podcast now. So
Huh?
I'm just gonna make this really entertaining. Drongo, do you want
Nigga.
any?
For day.
Drongo, what's the last thing you want to say for this for the podcast?
If you're watching this podcast and you're black, kill yourself. You're a fucking nigger.
Oh my fucking god.
Seriously? Oh,
Oh my
fuck.
god.
I am not gonna be on Twitch for long.
I don't even.
Well, Despacio is not proud.
Alright, so go on. Alright, Blobby, your turn. What's the last thing you want to say?
The last child I raped was named Alicia, and she was 7. Just let that sink in. Her ring was quite clean, actually. I have to give the parents props for that. They do
Nice.
clean a baby's
Fucking
ass.
hell.
I
Alright,
agree.
Blair,
What
what's,
about you?
Blair, what's the last thing you want to say?
Alright, I'm being serious right now. If you're
Are you
left
sure
wing,
about that?
Yes, I knew it was going to be
It-
left wing. I knew it was going to be left wing.
if you're left wing and you get quote unquote triggered over everything you see, you are mentally disabled. You don't. Oh, the NHS is retarded, and so are you. And I hope you get cancer. That should trigger him.
Hang on. Did you hear what he just said? That should trigger him.
That should keep him in that place. Bait him out.
Oh, fucking hell.
Also, if you don't like Dispatchio, go fuck yourself.
If this channel isn't already on if we're not already on some kind of watch list, then we are now, and this channel is definitely getting banned after this episode. Fucking hell.
Probably.
Go for that.
Should we make a backup channel?
I got many kids in my basement. Yeah,
Alright,
Give him a kid spanking for me.
I'm gonna end on a few things. Black people are the superior race.
Oh my! Now that is dirty. You are dirt.
Kill yourself.
Despacio is the #1 songles.
Number one, what?
Songles. And the McCanns killed Madeline.
Niggers.
Oh, I agree.
Alright, goodbye everybody.
Black